I just wanted to bring you up to date with a big issue for this country, I think, and certainly for this station, because as you know, this station, Sky News Australia, was banned from YouTube for a week, denied access to that global platform for a full week. We're back now, so send out a few links tonight to your friends, or better still, just get them to go straight onto our website. Now, YouTube's claim, the spurious claim from this digital giant, was that this station was misleading people, or had misled people over COVID-19. As you know, you couldn't be better informed about all COVID and pandemic issues if you watch this station. We cover all the developments, the news, the policies, medical analysis and debates with experts and policymakers. Anyway, we're back on now. The woke campaigners can start whinging again, and we can call out the intolerant left, the green left activists and the political operatives who don't want to debate ideas but just seek to silence the mainstream, to cancel the right of centre. Now, where else do you find this sort of cancel culture? Well, who else behaves like this, do you wonder? Well, of course, authoritarian, communist dictatorships do the same, don't they? Have a look at this clip from just yesterday on Beijing's state-controlled media, China Global Television Network.
American media tycoon Rupert Murdoch's News Corporation has been criticized for creating and spreading the Wuhan lab leak theory. When the first such story came out last year, Kevin Rudd, former Australian Prime Minister, said this China coronavirus conspiracy had just one aim: to get Donald Trump re-elected as US president. A year later, such stories are still being pursued on media controlled by the tycoon, despite international scientists saying such a leak was extremely unlikely. Is there a manipulation by the News Corporation? If so, what's the aim?
Well, I'll tell you what the aim is. You know, it's something we call in the Western liberal democracies the truth. It might be a pretty strange concept to communist-controlled state propaganda arms, but the truth and pursuing the truth is something that we're rather fond of, even if Kevin Rudd doesn't like it, the new hero of Beijing. We're kind of proud of how Sharri Markson and this station have led a global charge on trying to find the reality of how and why the COVID-19 virus arose in Wuhan in late 2019. This Chinese segment went into great detail. It was attacking Australia and News Corp, of course, and portraying China as a hapless victim of our prejudice.
The Daily Telegraph, a Murdoch-controlled tabloid, published a story by a reporter called Sharri Markson, claiming the coronavirus may have come from a lab in Wuhan. It cited a, quote, dossier prepared by concerned Western governments, unquote, to back the allegation. It was quickly picked up and exaggerated by some US media. For instance, the New York Post called it a damning dossier leaked from the intelligence agencies of the Five Eyes, and Fox News host Tucker Carlson called this, quote unquote, the most substantial confirmation of what we suspected that we have had so far. These two media outlets are also owned by Murdoch.
Well, it gives you a sense of who's more in touch with reality, doesn't it? The Chinese media then went on to quote The Guardian as supporting the Chinese defence. How flattering of The Guardian Australia, chosen source of truth for Chinese communist propaganda. Now, what this piece neglected to mention is how US President Joe Biden has now demanded a comprehensive investigation into what happened in Wuhan and the possibility the virus leaked from the Wuhan Institute of Virology. Even the World Health Organization has finally had to admit this theory is plausible and needs a proper probe. So, yep, Sky News and News Corp are guilty of searching for facts, for the truth. And China State TV is the sort of organisation that doesn't like it. Which brings me to our own public broadcaster. I've shown you before how the ABC has criticised this station for running the Wuhan lab leak theory. Shame on Paul Barry and Media Watch and their anti-journalism. I also showed you on Monday how ABC journalists, using that term loosely, including Paul Barry, actually cheered the cancel culture censorship of YouTube banning Sky News this week. Yes, ABC journalists actually cheered a US multinational organisation silencing Australian voices. Well, in happier news, on the ABC last night, one leading presenter engaged in a discussion on the issue. Yep.
Is there also a question here, Damien, of the media's right to voice opinions, to have dissenting views, for those dissenting views, even if they're unpopular, to be challenged with the facts, to be brought into, the light of proper debate and argument, but not to be silenced. Let's talk about Alan Jones, for example, as one of the videos here that have been removed. Entitled to a dissenting view, to say that there is alarmism, to challenge, to question some of the numbers. I mean, one of the things that we have seen throughout COVID is that often the dissenting view has been silenced or marginalised, and we don't have a much more open debate. And they're not entitled to have those views.
Yeah, Stan Grant there making some pertinent points, asking some sensible questions from a common sense standpoint. Stan gets it. And on this occasion, he raised strong points which can't be easy when you're surrounded by ABC partisanship and groupthink. Well done, Stan. Freedom of expression is always something worth defending.